Another delusional Republican religious right-winger has equated gay marriage to handing over Jews to Nazis. Speaking at a Tea Party event in Orlando, Matt Staver, he's the chairman of the Christian conservative law firm Liberty Counsel, said he would not obey a Supreme Court ruling in favor of marriage equality, which we're hoping for June or July, in the same way that he would have refused to hand over a Jew in Nazi Germany. This offends me not only as a Jew, but it also offends me as a straight ally of the LGBT community because their rights are being turned into a political football time and time again. I have the audio, I have the video of Matt Staver. Take a listen.
When Martin Luther King Jr. was in the Birmingham jail, he wrote the letter from the Birmingham jail. Some of the pastors said, Martin, why do you obey some laws and not others? He goes, well, there's two kinds of laws. There's just laws. Those are earthly laws that are in conformance with God's law. You've got to obey those. There's unjust laws. Those are earthly laws that are contrary to God's law. You have a duty to disobey. Now, you also have to be ready to pay the consequences because the civil government wrath is going to be poured out on you. But as a believer, you cannot obey something that's contrary to God's law. You know, and we would easily say, well, what would happen if the government forced you to turn over a Jew in Nazi Germany? Well, all of us would say, yeah, you know, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't listen to that. Well, you know, we're about ready to walk into that moment.
It's also utterly ludicrous to compare himself to Martin Luther King, but let's skip that for now. I tried super hard. I sat down and I said, let me see if I can think of any ways in which men getting married is like sending Jews to their deaths at the hands of genocidal maniacs. I could not, Louis, come up with a single way in which the two things were related.
We don't need to point that out. I think our viewers understand that. I think that the comparisons to Nazi Germany and the Holocaust are always just used in whatever situation to make people afraid. That's really what is at the heart of it.
Well, and they've successfully, these anti-gay Christian bigots have these total victim complexes, and it strikes me as amazing that they can concoct a narrative about how they are supposedly being persecuted by those who they are actually persecuting, if that makes any sense.
Right. They're the victims. They are being their religious freedom is being violated because they cannot persecute and condemn and damn the LGBT community.
I'm taking a stand, a different stand, as an ally of the LGBT community with an analogy that makes much more sense to me. I'm not going to turn my back on gay people, effectively turning them over to an anti-gay mob that would be led by the likes of Matt Staver in the same way that I wouldn't turn over a Jew to Nazis. If we have to make an analogy to Nazis, Louis, I think that's a much more apt one.
I think if he could stand in front of the country like Hitler stood in front of Germany and started with, the oration, creating fear, fomenting hate, I think that he would do the exact same thing to gays that Hitler did to the Jews.